Hello, dear viewer, and welcome to another episode of Brainwave. I'm your host, Nicole Forney, and today I'm joined by my friends Vicente Barra, Benjamin Venegas, Felipe Cofre, and Benjamin Aldana, who we'll be discussing with about Neuralink. However, before we begin, we should get some contextualization on what Neuralink is. So, this is a device that was designed by Elon Musk in 2016 and today is still in development. It works like a surgically implanted chip that will allow its user to monitor and simulate brain activities, along the possibility of being able to use their devices such as a phone by just thinking about it, and it's also set to potentially cure certain illnesses and disabilities such as body paralysis or blindness. And with such, we can begin talking about this topic. I believe the first point we can take is, how do you guys think this new technology will expand the possibilities of humanity?
I have been reading about this little thing called Neuralink and I'm really surprised. It is definitely a new world, a new future. It made me open my eyes, but I am distrusting all the process. With no doubts, scientists say that Neuralink could cure paralysis, epilepsy and blindness. This device seeks to give new opportunities to those who lose their abilities. So I think we're gonna have a great advance in medicine, but having the chip allows our minds to work as a computer. And when we all have this, the way of doing anything, even school, will dramatically change. Obviously, this opens new doors, but I can't stop imagining a dystopian future. But let's see what happens anyway.
Taking into account the promises of Neuralink, they claim to be able to solve various diseases or facilitate our daily lives by connecting a chip to our brain that allow us to be linked directly to our electronic devices. Theoretically, it would allow us an instant connection with the devices, and basically the machine and the human would become one.
But, as I said earlier, don't you see something chaotic in the future related to this new technology?
I was going to say something about that. Honestly, I only see that they are adding a vulnerability to our humanity. Considering this, I still believe that they will be able to apply to a large part of humanity, since somehow people will be desperate to have this technology, either because they suffer from a disease or because they want the latest technology.
Well, without going to crazy scenarios, I think that controlling devices and machines with just our minds through Neuralink opens up a world of exciting and transformative possibilities. Imagine a future in which we can operate computers, vehicles, and household devices with just our thoughts or gestures. This technology has the potential to revolutionize the way we live, work, and interact with the world around us. Neuralink will allow us to navigate menus, select items, and type text with our minds, eliminating the need for keyboards and mice. This could improve accessibility for people with physical disabilities and make computer interaction more natural and intuitive.
I agree with you. It expands the possibilities of humanity in various ways that come to favor the vast majority of the brain's nerve endings. In terms of cognitive senses, this chip helps a person cope with mental illnesses or disorders that come to limit humans.
I have to agree as well. Neuralink brings so many new opportunities for humanity and its evolution, yet it's hard to believe that this device can heal illnesses like blindness specifically. I'm pretty sure as of now there's ways like the use of glasses, contact lenses, or surgeries, but I recall non-permanent, and contact lenses and glasses just make sure to regulate your vision in the meantime. And of course have a big cost. Considering Neuralink might be rather expensive at first, or not, would the device reach for the user's eyes and operate them from the inside if this was the case? Or something along those lines? It really feels alien-like and far-fetched to me.
Considering all the things said earlier, personally, I don't see a positive future with this technology. So, I have a question for you all. How can Neuralink negatively affect humanity?
Well, I think there are many ways, but the most important is that we basically are turning into something different. Our human skills won't be the same anymore, and it will affect the way we learn, work, socialize, and even think. I don't know if it's wrong or right, but this thing made me think about the importance of being ourselves, having a construction inside us. I see the Neuralink as an invader to our minds. It will simplify every little thing that is significant for us.
Adding on to what Aldana said, this conflict can bring up a lot of controversies and arguments between people who are willing to support this quote new future and those who are in disagreement with what it brings to the table. Taking into account a hypothetical story, let's say Neuralink has slowly integrated itself into our society, and this can cause issues in places such as schools, because you can consider there be separations between groups of kids who have access to Neuralink and those who don't, which could lead to possible bullying scenarios and unfair advantages if you consider Neuralink offers access to devices without the need to have it at hand. I believe there would be a need to have regulations regarding its use, or like alcohol and driving licenses, that this device can only be afforded after you're 18 and or out of school.
Neuralink has positive and negative points. Among them, the possible loss of human senses such as fear, hate, empathy, due to the combination of human and machine, in addition to affecting social interactions in a negative way. Although there is an improvement in memory, knowledge, and mental efficiency, it is also possible to have a loss of the other senses that shape us as social human beings. Another negative point is the risk of the surgery, since if any error occurs in the surgery, the consequences will be mainly in the brain, where all the nerve endings are able to control the thoughts and human senses. So the main risk will be how experimental this surgery becomes for the moment.
The concept of Neuralink raises profound questions about what it means to be human. While the technology promises to enhance our capabilities, it could also lead us to a path of dependence and disconnect from our natural selves. Neuralink could potentially erode our humanity by creating an overdependence on technology, imagining relying on the implant for basic tasks, like remembering information or solving daily life problems. This could weaken our cognitive abilities and make us much more lazy.
Well, my point goes more to the cybersecurity side of this technology. I see Neuralink negatively affecting humanity by giving us a new vulnerability. Now, thanks to these miraculous devices, we can be hacked. And I don't like not being in control of my brain. I know that in these times we are already being secretly manipulated by different media, but with Neuralink, anyone can attempt to literally mess with our brain. Also, like Venegas said, Neuralink will create a dependency on our electronics. We will rely on our devices almost at 100%. If anything happens to our chip, we wouldn't be able to do our daily tasks. In my opinion, I think that Neuralink will make us lose our humanity.
The things I've said before got me thinking. How will it affect our interactions with our peers?
Maybe the presence won't be necessary with this tricky device. I don't know. As I said, everything could change, and it's probably that the relationship between humans will no longer be with strong ties. Just imagine living with a half-human robot. Or maybe I'm exaggerating, I don't know. But I think we're gonna have a new rhythm, a new way of living with each other.
Sharing the same train of thought, this chip would do more harm than good to our interactions with the people around us. We would become more dependent on technology and we would lose that friendly talks that we have nowadays. Instead, we would only have conversations through online services. That's the bad part. However, in the case of distant interactions, I think that it would allow us to connect with our distant friends on a whole other level.
Ignoring the first thing you said, Barra, I think that we have to look at the positive side of this new chip. Neuralink's potential to enhance communication goes beyond simply transmitting thoughts. Imagine being able to share complex ideas and concepts with another person directly, bypassing the limitations of language and interpretation. Neuralink could allow the direct transfer of information from one brain to another.
Before we continue, I think that Neuralink promises to facilitate our daily lives, but not as much as our sponsor, lifestyles. Lifestyles, because smart is sexy, and there's nothing hotter than a man who knows what he's doing. A man who knows that STDs aren't something beautiful. Use lifestyles.
Exactly. Neuralink could potentially revolutionize the way we interact with our acquaintances, be enabling faster and more direct communication. For example, we could send thoughts, emotions, or information instantaneously, which could completely change the dynamics of human relationships. However, it also raises privacy and ethical concerns about the control of brain information.
Much like Kofe's opinion, I fear that the boundaries between individuals will be greatly reduced with Neuralink, not only considering this is a device, it's bound to have its own release errors and bugs that can lead into catastrophic events like data breaches which violate the privacy of Neuralink's users. Likewise, adding on to something previously mentioned, interactions between people can be harmed too, due to the adaptation of Neuralink users to whatever way they'll be able to interact with each other, no longer fitting what can be considered a normal conversation between humans.
Okay, changing the subject. There's no way I would do it to me, but well, this is what I think now. Today, this device helps disabled people, so it's still not taking a society vision. But the day when everyone has this device, I would like to observe the new human behavior, with to think and write about it, doing the comparison with the old times and that thing. But guys, seriously, why would you do this surgery?
To start, I wouldn't. But if I had to give a reason why I would undergo this surgery, it would be to optimize my time and perform better in my daily activities. I could have more free time because I could complete boring homework twice as fast, as I could directly put my thoughts on paper. I'd have more time for my studies and things that really matter to me.
I only would do this surgery if there was some guarantee that it wouldn't be possible to hack the device in some way. Because I really don't like the idea of being controlled for the rest of my days. As for the reasons of why I would do it, also it sounds counterproductive with what I said before. I think that the fact that I would be able to memorize everything I need to get good results at every test that I will take in my entire life is enough reason to do it. What do you think, Felipe?
In my case, I will not have this surgery because this chip makes me lose part of my humanity, since be making my mistakes dependent on a chip. I will not longer depend on my own human capabilities. Besides, I could not afford this surgery because it could be quite expensive to have to perfect a human being to the point of being half human and half machine.
Personally, I really got no reason to make use of this device. I want to keep my sense of identity and personality intact without the influence of Neuralink. However, if I had no choice, I would take the surgery due to its major benefits when it comes to adaptation and the convenience it could bring to have easy access to electronics by merely thinking about them.
Now I see that Neuralink is not that good, and I have a special concern in the learning topic. How does Neuralink impact our cognitive learning?
Okay, if Neuralink can give you every information on the web, then your mind will be like an encyclopedia. All the education could be missed or improved if we use this device as a tool for our wellness. Again, I begin to think that our minds will be interrupted. The intellectual things will become something available for everyone, which is magnificent. But then, what will schools and universities serve us for? I would like to think that a new knowledge era must start with this new device without forgetting the old ones. Don't you think, Barra?
I have a little more radical vision. Neuralink would directly impact our ability to learn, because we wouldn't have the need to do so anymore. We'd have all the information at our disposal. And the only thing we'd have to do is try to comprehend the unlimited information. It will affect negatively. Many people would lose their ability to search for information, learn and comprehend. We risk becoming passive recipients of information rather than active learners. We'd be just an AI in a body made of flesh.
I feel that you went a little bit overkill with that last observation. As always, I see the more positive side. Neuralink could potentially facilitate direct communication between terrain and external devices, allowing for faster acquisition of knowledge. Imagine being able to download information directly into your brain, kind of how we download data to computers. This could revolutionize the way we learn and absorb information.
I totally agree with you, Enegas. Neuralink could have a significant impact on our cognitive learning by facilitating knowledge acquisition and sharing. For example, it could enable the direct download of information or skills into the brain, accelerating the learning process. In addition, it could provide real-time feedback on cognitive performance, helping to improve learning efficiency. However, it also raises ethical and security issues as to who controls and accesses this brain information.
Hello dear viewer and welcome to another episode of Brainwave. I'm your host, Nico Fornet, and today I'm joined by my friends Vicente Barra, Benjamin Venegas, Felipe Cofre, and Benjamin Aldana, who we'll be discussing with about Neuralink. However, before we begin, we should get some contextualization on what Neuralink is. So, this is a device that was designed by Elon Musk in 2016 and today is still in development. It works like a surgically implanted chip that will allow its user to monitor and simulate brain activities, along the possibility of being able to use their devices such as a phone by just thinking about it, and it's also set to potentially cure certain illnesses and disabilities such as body paralysis or blindness. And with such, we can begin talking about this topic. I believe the first point we can take is, how do you guys think this new technology will expand the possibilities of humanity?